What up, guys? What up? What's going on? God, morning, Doc. Oh my gosh. What up, Tom? What up? What's going on, guys? All right. So, what are we looking at? So last night we had obviously a daily sweet PDL 4 hour doesn't even close below. Anytime you're daily in your 4 hour lineup like that with a sweep and the 4 hour doesn't close below, you should automatically be looking bullish every single time. What I'll be looking for an open is if we can get anything down to this hourly BISI. Hourly BISIs or SIPIs that are left open right before open tend to like to be the area where 930 where we'll manipulate to for continuation. But definitely still bullish. Bullish until proven otherwise. Because what do we have? Daily 4 hour swing, hourly, or sorry, we got and then this we got a clean 1 hour breaker sitting right here that told us price should just continue up higher overnight. I took a long one when we actually retested this hourly breaker. That's what my P&L on the YouTube stream you can see. That's what that came from overnight, and just targeted the hourly SIBI here, the hourly BPR, if you will. But yeah, just looking for continuation until proven otherwise, which would be like a breaker or something down. But remember, if we're gonna be, if what did our weekly look like last night or last week? So we did have a weekly swing. I don't like the hour, the open down here. I'm assuming at some point this week we'll come back for that weekly open just because that little wick. But if we're gonna have some kind of Monday, Tuesday, we do have FOMC on we have FOMC on Wednesday, so that could be something that also frames our high of week. But here's open. We'll see if we get down to this hourly BISI. If there's any kind of long out of there, otherwise we'll wait until we'll just wait until 10 o'clock, and we will just roll from there. And see, obviously we actually had a 4 hour swing at 2 a.m. And you see, we did not even take that low. So that's telling you how bullish we are right now, which means we should be up to. I mean, your draw should be up to a Friday's high. I'd at least be watching the rejection block for now. Probably see some if we do get up here. Probably see some kind of a pullback. But for now, what up, guys on YouTube? What up? What up? What up? You want the pickle? I retired the pickle, sweaty. Um, Today is giveaway Monday. We do have a Lucid account to a giveaway, so we'll do that whenever we get some downtime and price allows us. But for now, we'll be focused strictly on price. But there will be a giveaway. Get that 50K Lucid account to get to a giveaway today as well. It's not much here not much here. Pretty small range. Let's see. Did we take 8 o'clock high? We did not. Looks like we left equal highs at 8 o'clock high. We took 8 o'clock low though. So no real model 5-1 in here. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything. Obviously, we should take the hourly high. Why? Because that bullish hourly close, and then we'll see how 10 o'clock closes. If 10 o'clock closes, if 10 o'clock sweeps, so the two instances here I'd be looking for, if 10 o'clock sweeps and we get that breaker down off of the hour, like a 5 minute breaker down, I think it's okay to look for a short out of premium here, back down to the hourly BISI. Obviously, you think you'd probably be going against the grain a little bit, but if you're getting that breaker, it's kind of telling you something. Yeah, let's see where our negative fours line up. See if they line up with anything. Really just looks like they kind of line up just above PDH, which could be a good little confluence here. And -4 to the downside basically takes us down to that hourly BISI. Or no, takes us down back down to the breaker. Sorry, that's the 1 hour breaker from overnight. So if you were watching last night, you should automatically know as soon as you've seen the 4 hour sweep and the bin PDL, like even before we get the hourly breaker, which would have been here, you should have already been watching like here. This should have, this should have been the breaker that you were watching, the 15-minute breaker here. As soon as you've seen that, you should automatically know this thing's ready to go. This thing's ready to pump. Simply because of 15-minute breaker off of a 4 hour and a PDL. If you're making a breaker on the 15 or higher, you're probably going to have some kind of bigger move to the upside, right? You should go after some kind of daily 4-hour high. Yeah, I noticed that, Doc. We just did sweep that. So watch, see what happens here up at the open of this the hourly down candle from 10 a.m. on Friday. We'll see if we get any kind of pullback off of that. But for now, there's really nothing. There's nothing to really trade unless you're chasing, which we're not going to be chasing, right? Not on a Monday. Not on a Monday at 4 minutes into open. How do I determine a breaker? It's basically just a failed order block. That's all it is. Basically, your last up candle here before you took a new low, and then you close back above it. So it's basically, so like when we close below here, this would be a bearish order block, right? On the 15, obviously it's a little wacky because it's, that's where we closed, close, we got the end walk and stuff down here. But once we close back above that, if this breaker is not, if this order block's not going to hold, then it's likely to mean what? It's basically like an inverse fair value gap, but an order block. I mean, that's the easiest way to look at, to determine some kind of a breaker. I just like it better because it gives you that structure shift when, like just an inverse fair value gap. You could be longing back up into just basically just the retest of this area and then go lower. Once you get that breaker, you're breaking structure. That's telling you that's when price is ready to go. I'm going to 720. I mean, I would imagine so, dog. Dog, you can't call these levels out 5 points before. This guy acts like a wizard. What up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. I will say I want to address this right now. So, but I did not expect for the giveaway on Twitter, I did not expect to have as many comments as I did, and that's going to limit us on the duck race. So what I'm going to do is to reward everybody that's actually in the stream. I'm only going to do a duck race with the people that are inside the stream here, inside the Discord, because I cannot do a duck race with 140 people. So if you're in the stream, congrats, your odds just got a lot better. But yep, exactly, Doc. It must be in the Discord, in the stream when your duck crosses the finish line. It's just easiest way to do it, because the other thing I have to the only other way I could think to do it is either separate 70 and 70 and take like the top 10 ducks from those two races, and then like do like a third race where it's like the top 10 versus the top 10, and then the winner of that wins. I could do that, or that just or I could just have AI be like, hey, pick 100 people out of the 140, and that also just seems unfair. So the easiest way is just to reward the people that are actually here in the stream. So that's what we'll do whenever we get some downtime, probably around 10:30, unless we're in some kind of trade at that point. Come on, doggo, we haven't hit 720 yet. Other than that, obviously, we're going to have a very, very, very bullish 4-hour. Where's that hourly BISI compared to that 4-hour? Yeah, just basically will take us back down to that 4-hour order block. Like I said, I'm not married to this. This is just an area that it looks really, really, really good for continuation. But we do not have to. We do not have to. Just be a spot. You also got midnight tucked on there too. But if this is market maker buy model back up here, I would not expect price to go all the way back down there. All right, doggo, you're in some drawdown here. If you were chasing 20, you're hurting. Morning, Matt. I'm just kidding, Howard. I'm just kidding, dog. I'm just kidding. Don't get grumpy on a Monday. By the way, Funda Next has BOGO accounts today. If you guys did not see, I think it's a great deal. The daily bold accounts are really, really, really good. The only kicker to that is you have to get your first performance reward from the first one you buy, and then you get the BOGO account. So you have to take a payout from the first account. That's the only kicker. But maybe that'll keep you more disciplined, knowing you get a free account and a payout. But I don't have a code for FN. No, I don't. I think the code for the BOGO only works for the code that they gave away as well. I believe because the accounts were still like 90. I bought one and it was 99 still. Like usually it's at least 94, but it was still 99. So I'm assuming that code only it's the only code that works for the BOGO. It's just a guess though. Yeah, there it is. I think it's their 4-year anniversary of being a prop firm, so that's why they're doing it. All right, for now, what are we looking at? Does the mic sound bad today? It is. We tore out the carpet of my office over the weekend, and it is very echoey here in here. I don't know if it doesn't affect the audio, does it? I doubt the mic catches the echo. I can hear it though, and it sounds terrible. Sounds fine. Okay, good. That's all that matters. I can deal with it as long as you guys are okay with not hearing it. We did get the Bearish Breaker with the 5-minute swing. You're talking here. So E, if you look at this, you'll see 1 minute that turned into a 1 minute order block here. It doesn't always have to be an order block though. Like this could just been we could have just wicked it and then we closed below. That's still a breaker. So it's not always going to be an inverse order block, but it's a good way to start recognizing them. ES bullish. Actually, I need to look at ES. I need to look at gold too. Gold looked pretty ugly. ES is ripping. ES is definitely behind though. Yeah, NQ is up to this rejection block already, and basically the open of this candle and ES is just doing a little catch up here. Let's check gold. I know gold was pretty ugly over the night. Yeah, it's just in this 4-hour chop. Gold did have a 4-hour swing just like NQ. It didn't really make up. It's extremely ugly here though. But all right. Yes, broke the hourly SMT. Yeah. It took 8 a.m. Yeah. So right now I'm just watching 5-minute swing with a 1-minute breaker. So not short, not in anything here, but just watching it for order flow purposes. See if that takes us back down. Nothing screaming to trade this right this second. In the meantime, I'll start a list for the duck race. So anybody in here, whether you want to end an account or not, you're going to be entered. That was nice, Doc. Yeah. Dang. My seat. Just have some patience here. Have some patience. I know it's been a long weekend. Everybody's itching to trade. Just hang tight. Your weekly close below previous week. Did you have BDH? Is it not BDH? Is it? I forget what it's called. Turn that off. Hayes, I only have prop codes for Alpha futures, with Alpha, Tradeify, and Lucid. That's all right now. Alpha is just a link though. It's in the prop firm link channel, but they're my next prop for the prop that I'm gonna get into. Thanks to Doc. Doc swears by him, so I can't say swears by him, but he says they're good. So I thought about popping the cherry with them this a week and see what happens. Nice. You like them too? Nice. Yeah, I seen where they don't move your drawdown straight to zero after the first one. What up, Discipline? I love Lucid. Lucid's good. I wish Lucid. I would love Lucid a lot more if they came out with a daily payout account. But I mean, it's basically the Lucid accounts are essentially just the top, essentially just the top step accounts with a smaller max drawdown max payout. It's really all it is. But it's instant payout. The money's in your bank account like 5 minutes after you request. It's pretty sick. Not in most cases, not even 5 minutes. The Lucid Flex accounts, which is the account we're giving away today. You just need, I think you need 5 days of like $150. So it looks like the 5 minute swing just gave us a 50%. I'm gonna rip up higher here. Doggo, did you stay in that? Nice, Doc. Remember, we're not here to get money from affiliates or anything. All that money for all the newer people, all that money from affiliates goes straight to more giveaways. That's all it does. That's how we're able. Which actually today, the Lucid account I'm giving away, I don't have enough in affiliates. That's coming straight out of my bank account, straight to the winner. Otherwise, we'd be doing probably two accounts today. But I want to see some executions, Doggo. Anybody can click buttons and show us 4,700 in a profit. I want to see some good executions, some good disciplined trading. We're gonna get Doggo fired up on a Monday morning here. Other than that, there's not much. Let's check out Natty today. All right, there you go. That's what we want to see. Don't have any FOMO. There's no FOMO here. You should have no FOMO here. Unless you've seen your setup and you didn't push the button, that's the only thing. Like you should like you can sit here and have FOMO all day, but that's the shit that you have to knock off. Like there'll always be another setup. I mean, like for me, I usually don't trade until 10 unless it's something like pretty obvious. And like there's nothing wrong with the waiting here. Yep. Like I have basically my 4 models, and none of those have showed up yet. There's continuation. There's a -4 CB, which obviously we haven't hit yet. We don't have a sweep and a close yet, and there's no continuation model yet. There's no continuation model until 10 o'clock. So, and there's no model 5.1. That's the 4th model. Right? There's no model 5.1. There's no CB model yet. There's no continuation. There's no sweep and close yet. I do have a Lucid code. It's code LEP. Sorry, Hayes. I should have said that. It's code LEP. LEPP. For Tradeify and the Lucids. It's just a way to give back to everybody because we're fighting back against everybody that's in like paid discords or not fighting against them, but like if you're I don't know, we're just trying to do good here in the trading space and be a good, positive trading community that's free for everybody. Just everybody helps everybody. That's the ultimate goal here. And then any codes we just give back to everybody. It's kind of like a very mini king line. Yep, LEPP. That's it. Yeah, just check there's the affiliate links channel, guys, as well. You can just see it all there. But yeah, I can show. I've got all the proof. Every dollar I've ever made from affiliates goes straight back. We've done so many giveaways, even when the Discord was paid. It won't be a ton of giveaways because we're still pretty small, but anything we do get goes right back. Still, ES still going. ES got up to that rejection block as well. So that's where we're kind of still rejecting from. Remember, we had this marked here. It's usually just these are usually just very sensitive areas for price. Basically, the opens, the highest open of your. Even if you're going to complete the market maker sell mod, just always keep an eye on it. These are usually good TP spots because you can usually see some good retracements from it. It's where people that are longing up to those highs get very, very annoyed. I've seen it enough. Yeah, active duty, still active duty. But luckily, usually work like afternoons and night shifts later in the week, so I'm usually able to trade throughout or stream, I should say. Yep. Just seen last year, I was deployed and we were still doing daily. I was doing daily live streams out of my dorm room over in Qatar. Good times. Had to end stream a couple times because we had people trying to break into base and stuff. Yeah, it was fun. Other than that, guy, this just looks pretty bad right now. Pretty bad. Oh, I never looked at Natty Gas. Natty Gas. Let's go to the 4 hour. Actually, let's check out the daily here. Could be working on daily swing. No, I did not shoot anybody, doggo. All right, Natty Gas looks of no interest to me right now. Gold. Gold had this obviously is just extremely hindsight, but nice 4 hour swing on gold there. Hey, appreciate that, leader. Hopefully that leads to an account at some point for you. About a 50-point rejection off of that rejection block up there. You're not wrong, Hayes. Can definitely say I'm glad I wasn't there over the last week though when that KC 135 went down. Would have not been a good time. Damn, Doc. I should not laugh, but I don't want to get into politics, to be completely honest with you. If I say the wrong thing, I could get in some trouble. But God, we're just gonna have a slow trend day here, a slow, nasty, choppy trend day. Triggered. Hey, there's Mike. What's going on, Mike? Nice. Awesome. See so many people in here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's hope we can catch something now, or at least learn something. Even if we don't catch something, can we at least learn something here? 5 minutes until the hourly closes. We'll see if we get closed bullish. See if there might be some kind of continuation amount. Not a spot I really want to look for. Not a spot I necessarily want to look for some kind of long, but we'll see. So we'll get ready to fib this. We'll get ready to fib this thing out. Why is that red? That is hideous. Who was logged into my trading view over the weekend? All right. So we have this fibbed out. There's just not anything. Usually I'm looking for like for continuation amount. I'm usually looking for some kind of obvious PD array around 25-50% here. I got to turn this off for now. Clear some things up. We're looking for some kind of obvious PD array around here that we're looking for price to manipulate to as soon as 10 o'clock opens, take us to 50, 25, and then push higher. Right now, this just looks pretty bleak, to say the best. Mike is such the barbarian. Yep. Yeah, politics leads to nothing but fights, especially in trading Discord. I think that probably goes for any Discord or any group of like kind of strangers. So I have the -4 model, which is the -4 CB. I have the continuation model, which is what we could be looking at here, where basically just the hourly close, where the hourly closes above or below the previous hour, and you look for continuation off of 25%. Because that's telling us that price is ready to continue higher. Obviously, not the best examples this morning, but something like this, where you have bullish hourly close. You look for price to open up here, manipulate down to 25-50%, and then you look for continuation, usually with some kind of lower time frame breaker. Is usually the entry off of there. That's would be continuation. And then I look, or otherwise, the third model is if this hourly closes back inside here, we'll wait for a 5-minute breaker to the downside, and then we can look for shorts targeting. First target would be previous hour low right here. And then there's model 5-1, where this is your hourly, this would be our hourly high here. The 5-minute sweeps it as soon as we open, and then at 10:05, if it closes back inside the 10 o'clock range, we can then look for shorts down to 25 and 50% of the 9 a.m. candle. So we have a couple options here. If I'm looking for a continuation, I would like to see it close super, super bullish like this, because then it has room to come back down to 25 and 50. Not a big fan of when we open. Usually because usually when it'll be a bullish close, but sometimes we'll open at 25 and 50, and then it's tough to get in because price usually will just chop for a little bit, put in a small wick, and then just rip. And it's hard to find an entry inside of there unless you're just long in that level, which you don't necessarily want to do unless you're that confident that price is going to continue higher. I like to see us open up here, because what we're looking for is price to open here, put in your 10 o'clock wick, and then you're entering inside of this wick in here. Usually your breaker is somewhere in here, basically back above the open, or there's a breaker down here. That's your entry. Stop goes to this low, and then you're long for that entire hourly candle as that body forms. That's what you're looking for continuation. It's just a model that tries to catch the entire body of the hourly candle in your direction, off of what you expect to be hourly manipulation, which usually a lower time frame breaker off of those levels usually confirms the hourly low or high is in, and that's why you can enter there with your stop at that low, because you wouldn't be expecting that low to get ran again. And that's confirmed by the breaker. Other than that, if I did not wake up for London last night, I didn't really look at London. All I seen was the Asia trade that that I took here just up to the hourly BPR. But this would have been probably a good little scalp in a London, simply because you got an hourly swing at 3 a.m. So if we go back and look at that actually while we're waiting, we look to see if we got like a good 5 minute breaker. So you would have got, it's not really the best. Like this would have been your breaker. This would have been your last series of down candles before you close below. There's not a lot of wiggle room there, but I guess you could have taken it to the previous hour low and you would have been good. That would have been like a scalp, but I don't know if that's worth waking up for. That would actually would have been a negative R trade. Obviously, unless you would have tried to hold our runners, but you would have looked for just Wizards 1 o'clock low. Actually, was well, where we went there. But yeah, just would have been negative R. Just wasn't worth waking up for. All right, so 10 o'clock is closed. It has now. Nice. That's a beautiful close. So what we'll be looking for now is I want to see price manipulate down to 25 or 50%. And then we can look for some kind of 5 minute swing point, 30-second breaker back to the upside to try and get long. What was that? That was a What I don't want to see is I don't want to see this just hit 50, 25 and just start ripping, because there's just no chance for a breaker to form at all. And that's why we just, we will wait here. But the hourly closing that bullish, is that something that you really want to fade? I know for a fact that we should at least come back for this hourly high, right? That's just simple candle structure that we look for. That's how we get a daily bias. That's how we get an hourly bias. That's how we get intraday bias even on the 5 and the 15 minute. Hourly closes above, we should at least take this candle's high. I do not want to see. I do not interact unless there's some kind of sweep here. Now, I can short this if this has swept and then the hourly, then this hourly candle would then close back up inside of here. Then I can look for a higher time frame short. But since this hourly high is still intact, I expect this high to go, and I do not want to fade that. If you fade it, sometimes it'll work out. A lot of times it will not, because you'll get short here thinking, oh, this thing's pumped so much. Like your normal newer traders be like, oh, it's pumped so much, we just have to go down. Well, we'll come back for that high. That's exactly how we get a daily bias too. Like last night, like what did Friday do? Friday, so with the thing that I put on Twitter, the little thread of what do we expect? What did Friday's candle do? Close down here. We should at least expect. It's how we frame that daily profile, right? If we close bearish below the previous day candle, our draw is this daily low. Whether Asia opens up and pushes up here, then okay, we look for a London reversal back to PDL. If Asia London sweeps PDL, we look for continuation pumps after that. And what tells us that is the breakers. As simple as that. I'm not liking this price movement. No such, yeah. You're not wrong, Bamtech. You're not wrong. But basically looking at the daily like that is the same way that I look at the hourly. Okay, if this is a daily chart, what's this? I'm expecting this closes bullish. So if this was previous day, we closed here and say this is Asia to London, when we manipulate down, this is where I'm looking for reversal back to previous day, previous hour high. That's why I look for, that's exactly the continuation model in a nutshell. You just look for the continuation model on like the daily. It's like what happens. But for now, there's no entry unless you're like lower here. Right, exactly what we expect though. We expect 10 o'clock to open, put in the wick. Wish we had some better structure here. A push to 680. Yeah, that'd be perfect, Mike. That would be absolutely perfect. And remember, we also want when we're looking for that continuation, we're looking for price to manipulate down in the first 10, 15 minutes of the hour, because then we expect distribution to happen after that, creating the body of that wick where hopefully our entry can be. Just aligning time with your closes here. Best case here is we push down. We can make some kind of up candle on the one that moved down here. We tap 50, and then we close back above that up candle that closes here. That would be our breaker, and that would be a long I would try, especially with 9 o'clock high still intact. I know this high should get hit. That would be TP1, and then runners to probably PDH. Hopefully, all that makes sense for the guys that are newer into the stream here. If not, I go over it 50 times a day. So. What's old ES doing? ES close super bullish. ES maybe ES has better structure here too. No, not really. There's nothing clear unless you just long these levels. Yeah, it'll make perfect sense though, Mike. Perfect sense. We're holding this 1 minute breaker here too. This is a good example of a breaker. All right. High, low, swept, closes back above. Takes you to a new high. A long in GC. I think longs are the better way in gold today, just based off of basically got the same higher time frame structure as NQ. Daily 4-hour swing on the lows should be pretty bullish. And you got an hourly breaker now on gold. So yeah, gold should pump, gold should push here. Pretty clean breaker there. And gold looks a lot cleaner than NQ actually, just because NQ is just in this nasty chop right now. This just feels like this feels like NQ's gonna chop and then it's just gonna rip at any point here without any kind of entry. That's what it feels like. It's gonna be one of those where we're sit back and say we should have just got in, but it just doesn't align with the way I like to trade. So, all right, I like to have some kind of 5-minute confirmation, which right now is still bullish, right? I would like this 5-minute closed up here. So like for me, this 5-minute inside candle means nothing. If I'm looking at just from a 5-minute, I'm watching this high and I'm watching this this low. Any longs would be null avoided by me if this 5-minute closed below here. So best case for me would be we sweep this low, hit 50, and then we get a 5-minute swing to the upside with like a 30-second breaker. That'd be best case. Time's kind of getting away from us here, but we'll see. Duck race probably be about 10:30, unless I get into a trade. Because after 10:30, I'm not really looking to enter, right? No. Oh, this feels ugly. This feels gross. I feel like this would work. But it's not screaming. It's not screaming. Asia had to move. It does. Asia, London. That's what you've got. I mean, lately you've got to watch Asia, London. The moves are so much cleaner. Unfortunately. Just price does what it should, and there goes your 10 o'clock high. That's unfortunate because that takes away any chance for a long up to that, which we should probably just push higher, right? So it'll be interesting. So all I can really watch now is, which I don't like, it would be model five, would be model five one here. How does this 5 minute candle close with the 9 o'clock high? That's what's gonna suck here, Casey. I'm not a big fan. I like when five one seems to work a lot better when it opens, takes the high, and then closes. And then 25 and 50 haven't been tapped yet. Like we're already bouncing off of 25 and 50. It's or at least off of hourly Sibby. What from 50 years ago? This thing? Gotcha. Yeah, that's what makes the most sense here, Rambo for sure. And then we'll see if this closes above. If it doesn't, it can mean more chop, or we get to move back down to the downside here. There's no model 5-1 until you get a breaker though, which it's already we would have to close below here, right? Because remember, your swing points are not valid unless you have the lower time frame breaker to go with it. That's what confirms a swing point. So here you get the sweep and the close back up inside. You do not have a breaker, so you do not want to be shorting this. And that's why. Unfortunate, just no clean entry off of the 25 and the 50. Yep, yep. -4 would be -4 would potentially be it, which takes us past PDH. So yeah, we'll see. Just still ugly, still pretty ugly movement. Also, we have some bad storms rolling through the area right now. So if I lose connection, I apologize. Maybe we should do the duck race before I lose power. -4 to I need to get my -4 marked. I think it's still way up there. It's past PDH. Yeah, it's up to 47.25. So we don't get anything until 32.25. PDH takes us to 806. So it's pretty unfortunate. Nice, appreciate that, Rambo. Welcome. I love your stats. Your 10 a.m. stats. Especially, I've seen the one this morning over the last 20 years. 10 o'clock has the biggest range. I guess it makes the most sense, but that shows that's your greatest opportunity. Nice. I'll keep it up. Friggin' love stats. All right. Did ES give us anything clean off of? See how ES just held 25? Just simple as that. Could we get a double sweep? Let's see. We could still get 5-1 here. We could still get 5-1 here. All right. Well, I'm gonna say we're working on. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. But this is what we call a double sweep. As well, it's not really an entry model, but it's more of a prediction. So it's basically where you have. So this is our hourly high, right? Our hourly high is here. We have the one sweep. Basically, you have a second sweep of candle one, and then candle. Basically, this is candle two because this is just an inside candle that I don't care about, and then candle three sweeps it and also closes back inside. If price is showing you that kind of weakness, it's usually a good sign that price is ready to reverse. Obviously, this is just a 5 minute time frame. It could just mean we go to 50 or we just stay here and chop. But if you see this happen on like on the 15 minute or the hourly, get ready for a reversal. What up, BMAC? No trade yet. But we did put in a 30-second breaker down though, so I would assume that this 5 minute high would be safe. I would look for this breaker to hold. I'm not shorting it, but I would be looking for this breaker to hold. It's a 30-second breaker that formed off of the 5 minute double sweep. But it's just kind of weird because we've already hit 25. We're just stuck inside of this range here. So it's not anything like clear, but this is a good example of a clean breaker. This is a very textbook looking breaker here. For those that don't have it, we'll go to, I have a double sweep. Where is it? Double sweep indicator here. And it'll just mark out where all your double sweeps are on your higher time frame. See how you had here? You had 15-minute low right here. Candle 2 sweeps it, closes inside. Candle 3 also sweeps it, closes back inside. Complete reversal. Like I said, it's much better used on like the higher time frame, but this is just looking like doo-doo. But like if we didn't hit 25 already or 50, like if 25 wasn't hit already after we already opened, I think this would be a low risk trade that I would try. But now we've already hit 25 and we're just chopping this around. This feels like something that I just don't want to be a part of right now. I know KC's in it though. I'm rooting for you, KC. I'm rooting for you. This is 5-1 though. This is 5-1 with a double sweep. Yeah, exactly, Doc. That's what I completely agree. And now we're already getting to like 10:15 or so. Time's kind of getting away from us. Like if it's 10:15 and we're not starting to expand, are we just that usually it's a sign we might just end up chopping for the order of the hour. But yeah, exactly. So by the time we get down to 25 and or 50, it's going to be 10:20, 10:25. It's like how much is our 10 o'clock candle really gonna give us? You know, it's only gonna have 30 minutes. It's probably just gonna be slow and messy. Yeah. Let's check gold quick. Gold just looks a lot better. Still just too high now. Gold, ES, what's old ES doing? Yeah, it's just chopping inside the range. ES also has model 5-1. But it's already hit 25, so no. None of this feels high probability right now, unless you're in from like down here. Then you don't care about any of this, and you should push higher. But it's fact up. Even if you enter here, you could have a stop run below here, and then your stop. It just for me, there's nothing clean here, nothing at all. So with that said, 70 people in here, sweet. All right, let's get I'm gonna start dialing up the duck race. We're gonna try something here. I'm gonna try to take a screenshot of everybody, the entire audience, and see if Grok can just make me a list, and so I don't have to type out 71 names here. We'll see if that works. For now, we're just watching this 5-1 to see if we play out to 25. All right, let's see. As long as you're in here, Shove. As long as you're in here. That's all you have to do. Let's see if Grok can I do this here. Or not, we just close back through the breaker here. Breaker fails, that likely means that our or if you make a breaker and it fails, then your draw on liquidity is wrong, and rethink things. Obviously, it's just a 30-second lower time frame, which might mean we're not going to 25 here, or we're just going to continue to chop. This is getting nasty. It seems like a good time for a duck race. AI is having a hard time here extracting all the users. Are we able to have a triple sweep? Oh, is it contract ruler? Oh, it is. Yeah, it sure is. Yep. Makes sense, Rambo. Sure does. All right. Someone else joined. If you're the last person to join, I need to know your name. All right. So got the list. Oh, sorry, YouTube. Just seen your chats here. Let's see what you guys said. Yeah, ES does have a bigger bullish gap. You're right, but still, just it's not worth pushing a button inside of here. It's really not. There'll be something so much better later. Imagine later, I always say, imagine you push a button in here and you take a loss, or even, God forbid, you blow an account, and then later you see a clean hourly setup like this, like we had last night, or even out of London, like a London here, like hourly sweep here. I think, yeah, hourly sweep, boom, London. Look at that clean, 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 clean. Let's check the hourly. Did we have any double sweeps on the hourly last night? We did not. Assuming that it's working, yeah. Haven't had many in a while. I just want to show you guys the example for the newer people that haven't seen it. Here's a good example of a double sweep, right? Sweep, fails to close. Basically a 3 drives pattern. It's essentially just using closes. Not the old quadruple sweep. Remember, sweeps are not valid unless you have a breaker, right? Not valid unless you have a breaker, which just this one was. This one was. All right, let me see. Okay, we gained a few more people here, so let me get this fixed here. Nice. So if you were, how many times do you blow an account in this? And then, yep, exactly, Cash, exactly. It's just that slow, ugly grind that even if you try to get in this, like there's going to be wicks and stop runs. Just, yeah, we have tornado warnings here. I think it's hailing outside right now. I'm surprised I still have power, to be completely honest. That's how I want to get this duck race done before, just in case. I do only have 71 names though, and I have 74 people in here, so I don't know who I'm missing. Cruz, nice to see you. It's been a while. I don't see your name in here, so I will add you. Put you down twice? All right. Got it. First time here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Bunch of new faces. Love to see it, guys. Welcome to the best free community in all of trading futures. Okay, B3. I don't think you're in the giveaway. I'll get you added here. B3 NCH. All right. Oh, I'm assuming bench. Okay, got it now. I'm missing 2 people. I'm missing 1 person. I don't know who it is. PTP maybe. PTP. I think it's you. I think it's you. Actually, you are in there, Tom. You are in there. Hold on. Let me see. This is the original list here. All right, let's go through this list. If you do not see your name, let me know. That is the original list I had. I have bench and I have Cruz added. If you are the lone wolf that's not in that list, let me know. Maritime, it might be you. Maybe. It's for a 50K Lucid account. Correct, Cobot. Correct. All right, this is gross. So it's about the same odds as the last duck race we did. We did 70 and about 70 and 70. Wow, this PA is not it. Which is okay because then we can look for 11 o'clock. We can look for we can then look for 11 o'clock continuation. Hopefully that's what we're waiting for to expand to a PDH -4. Let's see. I actually have the picture saved. Actually, I can see who was not in here. Okay, Maritime, you are in there. It had to be PTP, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's PTP. All right, so I have all the names now. Unless somebody else just joined. Easy Game, was that you that just joined? I'm going to start this before we... Yeah, I wish there was more to talk about with price, but there really isn't here. There really isn't. Yep, we already had a big overnight move, so it makes sense to have some slower consolidation here. Easy, I think that was you that just joined, so I'll add you to the thing, and I'm going to... All right, it's locked. It's locked. Oh, there's definitely a way. I mean, it only took Grok a few seconds to take a snapshot of every user. He turns it into a list. All right, so everybody's in. Let's switch to the duck race. Gotta switch YouTube over to the duck race, and then we'll get this done before 11 o'clock, and then we can look for maybe in 11 o'clock play. All right, there she is, in all of her glory. Let me switch the YouTube stream over to it as well. Adam K from YouTube, you need to be in the Discord stream. It's a big race, yes it is. It could be a 15-minute double sweep. It could be. It has to close back inside. This 15-minute would have to close back inside the 9:45 candle for it to be a 15-minute double sweep. TR. Does that make sense? Because you wanted to close back inside of candle 1. All right, let's knock out this race quick in case price starts moving. All right, let's see. All right, I think we're good to start. YouTube is brought up, kind of blacked out. All right, we're gonna do a minute 30. Let's fire it up. If you win, you'll get a nice DM from me. All right, good luck. Not Rudolph out front. Yep, you do not want to be out. You do not want to be out front early. I promise. It's the age-old duck race rule. Oh, sorry, Thak. Yeah, we just started it. I seen someone else join right after. No, you want to be in. You want to be in the back here. I promise. You want to be in the back. The winner always comes from the back. Dude, why is that duck wearing a freaking frog costume? That has no aerodynamics to it whatsoever. Same goes for the clown. Rudolph's coming back. A Roman helmet? Hell yeah. Who's it gonna be? Uh-oh. Who's it gonna be? Bajo. Bajo. If that's how I say it. Nice. Nice, nice. Congrats. Congrats. Now we have a 5-minute breaker to the downside here with a 15-minute double sweep. They had the Trump duck. Yeah. Congrats, Bajo. All right. We will switch back over to the charts. Congrats. I'll get a hold of you and get you your account. Guys, we do this every single Monday. Giveaway Monday is a thing from now on. So if you didn't win this week, come back next week. All right. Duck race. Let's switch back over on YouTube. All right. Look at that. 5-minute breaker. Man, see how, man, we were definitely getting weak there. We're definitely getting weak. I guess the duck is still quacking. All right. Screens are back. So yeah, 15-minute double sweep. Looks like it's going to be in because you got a 1 minute. Yeah, 50. See, now you have a 15-minute double sweep. I would not long anything right now. I would not long anything. This is a signature that you do not want to fade. The 5-minute breaker is right here. This is your 5-minute breaker. Well, these two candles. Takes a high, closes back below. But this is the signature that if you go back and look at 15-minute double sweeps like this, it's something you do not want to fade. I see another one right here actually. Sweep, close. Obviously, you don't get too much, but I mean, you delivered quite a ways down there. You probably could have taken it to that 50-minute Bissy at least, but now it's 10:32. I don't really want to engage with anything at the ad of this time. Why? Because it's, I'm looking to be a part of the creation of the hourly kink candle, and I'm still floating basically right at the open and just inside the range of that 9 o'clock kink candle. I'm not getting any kind of expansion here. It's nothing I want to be a part of. You're just looking to get chopped up here. Immediate rebalance is maybe the word you're looking for, Rambo. Oh gosh. What up? You take anything? Oh, you took that 3 o'clock sweep this morning? Nice. Yeah, why does your mic sound terrible, dude? Oh. Not yet. It's pretty messy. Nothing clear off of 25 or 50 for continuation. We got a 15-minute double sweep now, so I really don't want to look for a long. It's just sloppy. Probably gotta wait until 11 o'clock here. For those that don't know, Wizard is just he's my brother. All we talk about is trading. So we live and die trading. So we did get a 5-minute breaker down off that 15-minute double sweep. That's why I would not try to long anything here. which we got the 5-minute breaker down and 50-minute double sweep. And like normally, if the only way I would look for a short is if we swept, we swept PDH or we did sweep previous hour high and we got the breaker down. So, but it's still like I still think PDH and stuff is going to be the draw. So I don't want to fade that. But yeah, nice leader. Yeah, if you look at Wizard and I's text history, it's nothing but charts. It's all it is. All it is. Been trading together for over 10 years now, actually. Since like 2014, 2015. Live from the dozer, yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this hourly high should be safe. I mean, we should not go back because this is the hour we have hourly sweep here with a 5-minute breaker down. I mean, this it's not anything that you wanna fade here. Like I would expect like 9 a.m. low should be on the cards here, just based off of that. Like would not expect so with the hourly sweep up here and the 5-minute breaker down, that tells me that this hourly high right here we should not come back to this high until at least the next hour. That's the same way that I look at a 5-minute with a 30 second. If there's a 30-second breaker, that 5-minute high should not get swept again until at least the next candle. So if this candle closes like this, and I do want to look for maybe a long at 11 o'clock, I'm not taking any kind of long until assuming this candle closes bearish like this. I'm not taking any kind of long until I at least sweep this low. Now, if I sweep this low at 11 o'clock, maybe we sweep this low at 11:05, and then 11:15 or so, we're making a 5-minute breaker back to the upside. That's a breaker I'll take. It's kind of like up here where we got a 5-minute breaker down. I'm not necessarily bearish though up here. I'm not bearish, but if I'm still bullish for PDH over here, a 5-minute breaker after we sweep 11 o'clock low would be something that I would try along up to PDH and previous hour high. But if we were to come back and retest this breaker, it's something I would expect to hold. I would expect this breaker to hold. I would expect it to hold to take us to 9 o'clock low. Just hope that makes sense. The breaker confirms the higher time frame swing. Easiest way to put it. Oh yeah, yep. That one, Hayes. Yes. Yes. What's gold doing here? Let's get rid of let's get rid of this. There we go. Gold also working on an hourly swing. Had a 5-minute breaker down. Yeah, gold is following the indices a lot lately. Quite a bit. Isn't it nice though? We just avoided all the chop this morning just by being patient and waiting for any kind of setup. Like this price, there's just the candles were just not clean. There's just nothing for me to engage with. Any way that chased up here ends up getting stopped out anyway. Just wait for that clean setup. You'll see those clean setups, which hopefully 11 o'clock gives it to us. Which actually, I think I explained things wrong. So I said I might have. I'm not sure. So when this candle closes bearish, I think I did actually no. I said we need to close if we would need to sweep this low. I don't think I said 9 o'clock. So when this candle closes, I want to see this hourly low closed, a breaker back to the upside to get bullish. Otherwise, you could have continuation down to where we go back down to London and the hourly BISI. What? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is not They are. Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting on CD. Yep, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. -4 is down there. It's yeah. Yeah. Well, that's just okay. Speaking of that, to confirm if we're gonna go like crushing through London or something, this is what you need. You need to you need to be watching basically this area here. This would turn into your 15-minute breaker if we would close below that. You do not want to see. Remember last week for the ones that weren't in stream here, but if you're looking for where was it? I don't remember where it was now. I kind of forget. Remember, like we did not get the breaker down, so we were not bearish yet. I don't know where. Well, I don't know where it is, but oh, it was here. Like here, it's basically said this the same thing. People wanted to be bearish because we swept PDH and stuff here, but we were not bearish until we got the hourly breaker to the downside. We never closed below this, right? Until here, and then look what happens when we finally get that breaker down. Boom, the breakers confirm that price is ready to move in that direction. So what that brings me to here is watching. So you see this like this cluster here. I just like to go with like the lowest low of those down candles would be like here. So if this 15-minute closes below here, I mean London and the hourly BISI are going to be your clear draws, of course. But that would confirm that like you for sure do not want to be trying to along anymore. But no, we'll see what 11 o'clock does. If 11 o'clock wants to close super bullish like this and then give us like some kind of move off of 25 or 50, then the shorts to the hourly BISI can be in play. Assuming you don't get a 5-minute breaker to the upside, because otherwise, because you should not be making a breaker to the upside after an hourly sweep, because that means you're just going to go right back up. Yeah. Even if I wanted to short it, I would not have got in though, because we did not even get the retest of the breaker. We just closed, made it. We didn't get a retest, so it's still no FOMO, and I still wasn't bearish there. So I guess I should have been though. I mean, a breaker formed off of an hour, a 5-minute breaker off of an hourly high means that hourly high should be safe. It's the biggest thing you can take from this stream. All streams in a general. If an hourly high, daily high, low are going to be safe. That's why you usually go to like when we get like a 4 hour breaker, usually on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Usually is saying that your higher time frame, that your low or high of week is in. Usually with some kind of 4-hour breaker. Yep, no tap back into it. YM took PDH. Oh, perhaps that's why. But yeah, so we just take the same logic with the hourly 5 minute and go to the lower time frame, and that's how we get our entry models. A 5-minute with like a 30-second breaker back to the upside. And obviously your context comes into it too. You know, do you expect higher? What time is it? All that stuff has to align. So the big close will be what happens here at 10:45. Do we close below or do we not? If we do not, that might be a sign that price wants to actually continue higher, right? Because there's a lot of times you don't get the breaker and price will fully reverse, and not getting that breaker was your tall tale sign. Wizard, is that a 5-minute breaker you would have taken no matter what, just based off of giving it? Okay. Oh, no, that makes sense. Yeah, no, you have so you do have yeah, that's actually a good point. You have 1 hour and 4 hour line. Another thing that I like to be in to that I like to be in line with. I don't like to take a trade unless my hourly and my 4 hour are in agreement, which means essentially if I have an hourly bullish candle and I'm looking for continuation, I also want my 4 hour to be bullish, which is what I was looking for here, where we had continuation on both. But here the 1 hour and the 4 hour high have both been swept with a breaker down. This would actually fit the criteria if I was looking for shorts, but just delivering from a weird spot down. So like if you see this, like if you get this pattern with a 5 minute breaker off of like a previous day high or like a 4 hour high or something, it's game on. Maybe not necessarily a 4 hour high, but like off of some kind of key area where you're expecting reversal, then it's a game on. But hmm yep. Right. Yep. Oh, New York's definitely a lot less likely. But like an hourly, a 4 hour sweep with a 5 minute breaker in London or Asia is lights out. It is lights out. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Well, there's just a lot more manipulation. So, yep. Yep. The 11 p.m. 4 hour breaker. You mean the 11 p.m. 1 hour? You're talking like down. I mean, I would be looking for a long out of this Bissy. I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of like a. I would say this is more or less your breaker right here, which is basically just your hourly CISD, it's your hourly Bissy. All of that is tuckle is a nestled inside of London there. But like, if we got like an hourly swing out of here to where like I think like this is what I wanted this morning. I was hoping we got a manipulation down in here 10 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock gave us a nice swing out of here. But I'd be looking for something like it's gonna be hard to draw, but like if yeah, like if we would tap in here and like say this candle somehow closes all the way down here, and it looks something like this, but then this candle closes back up inside out of this out of here. A 5 minute breaker inside of this wick is an absolute A plus setup, right? Because then you have um right? Because then you would have an hourly swing point, 5 minute breaker out of a spot where you're looking for continuation. If you're bearish here, you should not be hitting this Bissy, closing above it while giving yourself an hourly swing, while giving yourself a 5 minute breaker. That's a long all day. The secret though is like I said, is that breaker. The breaker tells you whether that swing point is valid or not. No breaker, there's no swing point. There's a swing point, but it's not a valid swing point in the way that I like to trade it. Now, so we got this 15-minute breaker. That should all but I know you could be like, well, of course we're going 9 a.m. low. It's right there, but that should all but mean that 9 a.m. low is cooked here. And we'll see if we get down to a retest of London highs into the hourly Bissy. Gold's dumping. Yep. Yeah. Following the indices again. The other aggressive entry could be if we got down to the hourly Bissy and then we like and so say this candle closes, which it depends. I would like to see this. See, best case is we do not hit the if we're going to this hourly Bissy. I do not want to see us hit it in the 11 o'clock hour. I'd like to see like I want to see that. I want to see like this candle, the 10 o'clock candle. Actually, let me go to my hourly chart. I want to see this candle close like down here, and then 11 o'clock does what? 11 o'clock manipulates the low into the Bissy, and then gives me a breaker back up. Then I'm on side of my hourly, right? I've already swept the low. I've hit the Bissy, so I know since my hourly low should be my target, because why? Because it closed super bearish, so we should at least take this hourly low. My hourly low is taken care of at that point. So once that's taken care of and swept, if I'm getting a breaker to the other side, that gives me the green light to then look for any kind of long. You know, same thing that same thing that we're looking for, that's going on with the daily right now, right? Previous day low sat here, we swept it here. The daily low is taken care of, and now if I get like an hourly breaker to the upside, which I did, I can then look for continuation off of that breaker, because that's telling me price is ready to move in the opposite direction. If we fail to hit the breaker here, then I'm expecting us to go back down to and put in a new low down here. This almost feels like one of those plays where you could try a short here. No, I'm not taking a short. But this feels like, and then if you get the breaker to the upside here, which would be like if you close back above here, you just close the position. But like the RR is just not here right now. This is like, you would not want to see a 1 minute breaker to the upside here. If you see a 1 minute breaker to the upside here, then you're wrong. You're just looking for a failed breaker here. Yes, Mule. I think so. What you're asking is, oh, sorry, there goes 9 o'clock low. So what you're asking is this 15-minute civvy, right? I'm assuming is what you're talking about. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of. Let me get rid of this just to clear things up here. So right now, I don't know, it's tough. It would have to depend on how this 15-minute candle closes here. But so like it would depend. Like if I got like, so if like if this 15-minute closes bearish, the 1 hour closes bearish, I would not look for a long, right, until this low is swept. So if 11 o'clock wants to open up here, say it opens up here and then pushes up to the civvy first, this low to me is still the draw. So if I get some kind of like 5-minute swing point and a breaker out of this 15-minute, I'm then looking for a short to this previous hour low, runners to the hourly BISI. If I think that's what you're asking. Otherwise, if we take this low first and then we're making like a breaker to the upside and then go up to this civvy, maybe that's just like a scale spot for a long. I hope that makes sense. It's just going by what happens first when that hourly candle opens. Remember, the first move is likely manipulation. Now we did hit, like I said, we hit this 15 down here with the 15-minute. There's a little 15-minute order block. Let's see if we get a 1 minute breaker to the upside. 1 minute breaker to the upside would be here. So we still have the previous hour low. If we get a 15-minute swing point here with a 1 minute breaker, I don't think this is awful. I just don't like the time. It's 10:52. That's one thing I don't like here. You know, because I know we could sweep this previous hour low. Let's see. Yep, it sure is. We'll see if we get the breaker here. I just, like I said, if this was like 10:15, I think it'd be a lot better, but we'll see if we get the breaker. That should tell us everything here. It's a huge stop. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. See, the one problem with KC said it right. The one problem with like taking along it right now is you have to sit through 11 o'clock open. Which if you expect 11 o'clock to be bullish, which we've already swept the previous hour low, so we could definitely get a reversal here. But like, there's a chance that 11 o'clock is going to manipulate and take out this low and then stop you out and then give you the real reversal here. But we'll see if we get. The problem is if you're getting a 1 minute breaker here, your 15-minute low should be safe, but we'll see. Yeah, it could. It could. God, it stops huge. What does our hourly look like? Yeah, That could be an hourly sweep, hourly busy hit. Oh, I'm just gonna wait for 11 o'clock. This same setup, if this same setup occurred right after and or right after like the and right after like the hourly open, and like you could frame this as your hourly wick, I think it makes it a lot better. Could it push here? Yep. But hourly trend line. All right. This is just avoiding it because of time right now. This is simply why. It looks good. It does look good. I just do not like taking a trade at this time. People can say like, "Oh, it's ICT macro times and stuff," but that the macro times right before your hourly wick form, just I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. I would say full on furu scammer, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, um I have no opinion. I have no opinion. I know, right? Yeah. Dill's got them all. He's got them all. Oh, gold, gold really dumped, like you said. Yeah. KC, you guys have a new quarterback in Kansas City. You guys just traded for Justin Fields. Congratulations. Yeah. Schefter just reported it. He just reported it. All right. They might be. They might get to the Super Bowl, but they sure ain't gonna win it. We've seen that fail multiple times. Sorry, Casey. I had to. That's how I am. That's how I am about the Browns. Maybe one day. All right, guys. So we're just gonna wait. We're gonna see what 11 o'clock gives us here. So the other possibility is like this low could be good. It could be good, and then like you could have you'll have instances where like the hourly open doesn't mean we're gonna go to a new hourly low or take a new take a new low or something, but it does mean like you could have hourly 11 o'clock open here, go down inside the breaker. This is actually your little 1 minute unicorn here. This could be your wick, and then you could continue. Like that's something you have to think of too. But for me, actually, it's gonna be a bullish hourly close here. So yeah. Oh, we actually got a 5 minute breaker bullish out of here. Interesting. I think I'm gonna try a long. I'm gonna hop into a long at like 660. Actually, let's go like about 659 or so. Just below this like 1 minute low or so, about 659. I think it's worth a shot. Stop's got to be at the low. This is massive. So size very, very, very light. I'm always right because my hourly is taken care of. I do not have a bearish hourly close. Well, actually, I do. I have a sweep here, so I could still be expecting that low. Let's see. But we got a 5 minute breaker off of the hourly sweep, so it's kind of going against the hourly, what the hourly says. But I think this is worth a shot. All right, let's see if we get tagged in here. Just because of the 5 minute breaker. So we've seen what the 5 minute breaker did up here. We got a 5 minute breaker with the hourly sweep here. Like I said, the only thing I don't like is we do have hourly sweep here, so we could come back for this. Actually, oh, the candle hasn't even closed yet, but I still think it's good. I still think it's good. I think it's worth a stab here. Just very, very, very light because we have. So this is your 5 minute breaker here. This is your 5 minute breaker. It's pretty ugly, but it's a 5 minute breaker. Sweeps the high, sweeps low, closes back above with an hourly sweep. My first target would be at least would be up to the retest up here. I did not get tagged in though. I did not get tagged. I am not in. I did not get tagged. For the record, I'm not gonna sit here and say I got tagged in when I didn't. Yep, exactly what I was looking for, Casey. Like a quick manipulation down into there can form. Just you might just have a small, you might have a small wick. But let's see. I'm gonna leave the order sitting there though. I'm going to leave the order sitting there. So now our 11 o'clock is open. So now I have 11 o'clock opened here. I'm looking for 11 o'clock to dip here, hit the breaker, form the wick of my 11 o'clock hourly candle, and then I can look for a long TP1 being up to the previous five minute breaker, the previous hourly high, and then PDH. Those would be the three targets here. Entry limit sitting at 659. What I do not want to see is even if I get tagged in. So basically, I'm basically just gonna soup this devil's mark. What I don't want to see is I do not want to see us make a breaker to the downside here. I do not want to see us close back below this. This would be a 1 minute breaker back down. I just want to see a wick and rip. But we'll see. I'm still on NQH. Yeah, I usually switch on Tuesdays. This is definitely it's a weird situation. But like if I'm looking for, well, actually no, disregard. I'm good here. This fits all my criteria. This fits it all. So why does this fit? Okay, so why does this fit everything? Because this is not. So I'd be bearish if we did not sweep this low. But since we swept previous low, so you're probably wondering like, okay, what happens on outside candles? Well, on outside candles, I will go for whatever happened last. So we swept the high first, and then we swept the low, and then closed back up inside. So I'd still be leaning bullish here. So we do not have to go to this low now because we already swept. Because our target, when this candle sweeps here, what's our target? Is this low? So yeah, I have no problems. Then that makes this adds to all my context here. So I'm okay with it. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, what I would not want to see is I would not see a 5 minute swing down out of there. Yeah, it's kind of it's like I said, it's not the cleanest. It's not the cleanest. I got you, Mule. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because we did close below there. We'll see. Probably want to get tagged in. I got you. But remember, like the way I look at it is, we got this breaker here. We got this breaker here. So it should mean that we at least go take some kind of like hourly liquidity, which we did here. And then this 15-minute failed. You got a 15-minute swing back up here. This 15-minute this 15-minute breaker failed to give us any more expansion down after that previous hour low, which leads me to being a little more bullish here. Just going back to the hourly. So that's what gives me a little more rationale here. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, we are hitting the 15-minute SIBI here. Would not be a good thing. Yeah, so what I'll do is what I'm gonna do is stop's gonna be obviously the swing low, or if we make a breaker to the downside, if we close below this. So that'll keep stops very, very smart. Because why this? I do not want to see a 1 minute breaker down off of a 15-minute sweep, right? That would tell me that this 15-minute high is a likely safe. So I just do not want to see a breaker to these to the downside here because that would tell me we're probably wrong. So that'll keep the stops hopefully pretty tight here. I don't know. I don't like that. Like I said, I don't like that. The only thing I don't like, actually, no, we're okay because this is because our hold on. Let me bring up our thing here. Oh, did not get tagged in there. So our hourly opens up here. So I like this nice manipulation below here, right? Because if it's a daily chart, a daily swing like this, we're looking for longs. We're looking for Asia London to manipulate down inside of the previous day wick, and we're looking for longs out of this wick. Same concept here. All right, so tagged in there. We'll see how this 1 minute candle closes. We shall see. We'll watch this. This is your 1 minute unicorn sitting down here. So we'll see how this 1 minute closes. We really don't want to see it close below. So it did close below. I'm going to hang on for a second, though. It's not the most bearish close. Because now we hit the 1 minute unicorn. Right, because if I'm looking for longs here, I want to see a dip. This is where I'm looking for a dip to some kind of PD array for price to hopefully continue higher here. Let's see. This 1 minute candle closes like this. I'm just going to move stops. I'm just going to move stops, hard stops at 45 now. So now it's just a 14-point risk for a free play here. And then I'll still try this again, but I'll wait if I get stopped here because I know I like this move out of the 1 minute unicorn here. If this gets stopped, the next entry or try, I'll wait for a 5 minute swing point. 5 minute swing point being if this candle closes back up inside of here with a 30-second, then I'll try it again with a stop at whatever this 5 minute low is. Definitely not the most textbook trade ever, that's for sure. But worth a shot here. Remaining 50%. Right, it's more of a time play here. Duck races happen on a YouTube. They happen on YouTube and inside the Discord here. Yep. When's this 5 minute close going to happen? So we really want to see, this 5 minute candle close back up inside of this 5 minute here, right? We want to see this 5 minute sweep here. I'm not liking all that LR building up there, but we'll see. We get a close above here, could be good. That's what we really want to see here. Yep. All right, so let's see if we did not get the 30-second breaker there. 1 minute devil's mark, not the best looking sign here. That's all right. But this is going up. Yeah, we should not go back to, let's see if we get the 30-second here. We'd like to see the 30-second breaker. The 30-second breaker should confirm that this 5-minute low is in, and our stops are then in a good spot. But right, so it's more of a trade-off of time, right? 11 o'clock opens, we look for a dip. We have an hourly sweep with a 15-minute swing point. We have all the context in the world here. So yeah, so I got the 30-second stops are in a great spot now. So now we have a 5-minute swing point to the upside, right? 5-minute swing here. I do not want to see price back to this low. A 5-minute swing point out of the 1-minute unicorn, and you have a 5-minute swing point below 11 o'clock open with a previous hour sweep, right? So if you're long, you don't want to see price back to that low. Targeting, yeah. So I'm targeting 11 o'clock high, 10 o'clock high, PDH. Those are the 3 TPs here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Probably take care of that 1-minute devil's mark. This little guy. All right. I think we hit it. We at least hit it there. So we want to see a bounce here. There's 11 o'clock. It's going to be another choppy hour. Hopefully not. Right? Because if we're expecting expansion, we expect price to start reversing at this time, right? It's going on 11:10, 11:15. Like if we're gonna have a big body on this 11 o'clock candle, we're expecting it around this time to start. Right? Otherwise, what's this going to lead to? Probably another choppy hour. I mean, it is an SMT, not necessarily an SMT that I'm, care about right at this point. Ariel. First FAG after 10. Oh, yeah. Oh, on the 5-minute. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that's a big thing that people are watching now. Right, so this is kind of the same sense that we're looking for here, but like on the lower time frame. Not saying this is going to work or anything, but what do you have? Swing point? What are we looking for? We're looking for this 5-minute candle to open, because with the swing point, and you're looking for longs. Like obviously, you're not looking for like a long setup, but you're looking for price to go back down inside of this wick, but you're bullish, so we should not be going for that low. You're looking for price to hold inside of this wick. Usually, like on your higher time frames, your hourlies, and your daily wicks, this is usually where some kind of hourly or 15-minute BISI sits, and that's where you frame your London reversals out of. This is the same exact context here, right? All right, so TP1 hits there. I'm on MNQ, so it was a little bit below 10 or below the high there. And now we're just looking for 10 o'clock high and PDH. See if we got a banger. So now it's a free trade. Stops are still at the same exact spot though. Stops have not moved. So now if even it comes back and stops me out with my trim all the way up here, I am riding dirty. I'm riding clean. Because even if it comes all the way back up here, the profits that I've already locked in are good. Right. So what I want to see now is I want to see this 15-minute. I want to see the 5-minute just annihilate this 11 o'clock open. All right. 11 o'clock opens, dips. Now, if we're crushing back through the hourly open, that should tell us that we're in that we're in distribution, and right because we look for manipulation below the open. Now, if we're going back through the open, you should be good, unless you're going to chop, of course. But let's say the market makers did. That's the thing. This is the thing though with these kind of trades and just using swing points. You have to believe in these swing lows. You have to believe in them because there's going to be times where remember, like coming back down inside of here, right here, you're just inside the wick. I know it looks like, oh, we're going back down to this low. You've got to believe. You got to believe. Like that's where your wicks and stuff are going to reside. That's where you're expecting price to hold. That's why your stops are at that swing low. You cannot get antsy and have fear and be like, okay, I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to move it up. I'm just keep moving up. I don't want to get stopped out. Just don't be. Stops are going to happen. It's part of trading. Let the thing breathe. You'll be a lot more upset if you get stopped out of break even and then it goes and you should have just left. Then I would rather get stopped out fully than go to break even too soon and then watch it run to my TP. That brings on more tilt than anything. Did we get a 5-minute closed above here? So yeah, I mean, it should be getting something out of this 1 minute busy. Because there's always a chance that we could come back down just to sweep that 5-minute low. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to move my stop up. What, about 10 points? I'll just let it breathe for that. I mean, you definitely can though. Hey, I see what you're saying. Like you're saying, we have a 5-minute bullish candle close here, so like I would expect this 5-minute high to at least go, and I would not expect this a low to go. You can absolutely do that. I mean, there's not an issue with that's. I mean, that's a good way to trail your stops, right? Is with that, but for 10 points, I would rather just leave it down there. But that's how I'll like trail. I will trail like my so like I don't know. Say we form another 5-minute swing point to the upside here. Say I don't know. Say this candle closes bullish here, and then the next candle comes down and sweeps this low, and then closes back inside of it. I can then move my stops to. All right, don't want that too. I can then move my stops to this 5-minute swing point. Because now I have a new 5-minute swing point with a breaker. I would not want to see price break this low. Otherwise, I'm making a breaker back to the downside, and I'm likely in chop anyway, and I probably just want to get out. But like, I like to trail my stops just with like new swing points that form. You're not wrong. That is not a bad spot. If you want to move your stops to there, that's not bad. I do agree. Like if we come back to this low, we're probably taking that low too, and we're probably just in chop. There's nothing wrong with that. I like just to move my stops to where it would invalidate my trade. So like if I make a new swing point to the upside, if I'm taking that 5-minute low now, I'm likely making a breaker to the downside as well, which would probably invalidate my trade at that point. I should be going on tilt right now because my trade copier did not work. At least I don't think it worked. I'm gonna log in and see. Yeah, it did not copy. All good. You can look for current hourly open liquidity with sweep detection by out of options. It's so nice because it just frames your hourly highs. That's what you should be. And when you're intraday like this, you want if you just trade based off of your hourly ranges, it's literally all that you really need. And combine that with your 4 hour in the direction of the 4 hour, and uh, all right, so another 5 minute bullish close, which obviously means we should take. Well, we already took that high. Yep, for sure, Rambo. Those hourly ranges are literally all you need. Nice 15-minute swing. Just an ugly move, nonetheless. Hopefully the right move, but I guess we can't take a loss right now anyway. And I always hate getting into long trades when it comes out to 11 o'clock because it just takes forever. You're getting into a slower lunch time frame. You're getting hungry. You're getting cranky. Guess it helps if you're in a winning trade, though. Trump in 10 minutes. So that means we have about 60 minutes if he's supposed to speak in 10 minutes. All right, perfect. Got plenty of time to get to that 10 o'clock high. Let's make sure ES isn't. So ES did the same thing. Sweeps the high, but then it sweeps the low and also closes back inside. So we have a lean towards bullishness just because of that. Because if we were truly bearish, this hourly should have been closing lower, and we're still getting the same thing out of ES. ES was actually a little bit cleaner. He just had the BISI. Did it have a breaker? ES had a good breaker too, but it didn't even get a retest of it. But yeah, so we're both in line right here. Just a matter of how slowly is this going to deliver. Does that make sense though? Like I said, I don't care. I don't care if you're in this. All I care about is if you took it along with me, you understand why I took it. That's the most important thing here. You understand the context why. That's I said I don't care. I don't want ones in the chat. I don't want W's in the chat. If you took it and you learned something, that's what matters. Because you'll catch the next one, even if you didn't take it this time. I only want you taking it if it makes sense. Not here to give signals. That's what matters. Yep. All right, guys. All right. Ban these guys. At least give them a timeout. Anybody that put one is getting a timeout or a W. Yep. Oh, it's tough. Yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah. Nope. No need for that. No need for that. Yeah. It's funny though. You're right. Gotta get the W so I can show on chat. I gave this winning trade. Who cares? did you take it? And did you? Yeah, that's all that matters. So I'm sitting at. I got my next TP. I shouldn't talk about TPs already because then we're gonna probably chill out here and start chopping. Because just because we're at 75% of this dealing range, so it's likely we probably slow down a little bit. This tends to happen a lot where you have 70. You'll like kind of chop at 75% because it will chop, wreck the chasers, and then go. Very very possible here. Or was 20, 20 Oh, it was off 25% of the previous hour. Nice. Or so I guess you would say 70%. A new 5 minute swing point? No. The only 5 minute swing point we have right now is this guy where we entered. So a new 5 minute swing point would have to form with like this taking this low and then closing back above. Also, really want to see. I guess there's no real breaker now below, but we already retested this CISD. Yeah, so I really want to see price back to. So we had basically your 5 minute prop block sitting here. So this is your 5 minute prop block. I really wouldn't want to see price back below the open and back below the candle, your 11:15 candle that tested this order block. So that's actually a good spot to where we can lock in some profits and at least move stops to 680. Basically below that swing point there. That would be enough to invalidate it for me. So I don't want to see it come all the way back down at this point and not lock in something. We're here to make money, right? Not be right. You took that 20? Oh my god. Yep. Later, Discipline. Take care. So got nothing else really to watch now until we just let this thing play out. Gold is just nasty. Gold's still dumping off that 5 minute sweep, that 5 minute breaker. I wouldn't touch that until you get a 5 minute breaker back to the upside. So that was basically the context of this hourly. Obviously, it's a little tougher hourly. It doesn't if it's more it's a outside candle, right? But then we just seen the 5 minute breaker sitting here at 1040. And we see manipulation down into it at 11 o'clock, right? So time was on our side. We had the hourly sweep. Obviously, we just manipulated down to that 1 minute unicorn, and that was it. And then we get the 5 minute. We get the 5 minute swing point off the lows, and then we get the 5 minute swing point. Well, this is actually a 15 minute swing point. They gave us the 1 minute breaker, right? The 1 minute breaker here. They gave us that. This is your unicorn sits inside of here, and then all of this just basically became your you're a 5 minute breaker. So once you get that hourly swing, it's basically what happened up here, right? 5 minute breaker off the highs delivers an hourly low. 5 minute breaker off the lows should deliver what? An hourly high, some kind of hourly liquidity point. So that's why, as we get to that, that's our context for the long right now. Basically, stops are at this low because if we're at this point, we're probably making if we're going all the way back down here, probably making a breaker to the downside. We're just gonna start chopping. So You guys see where we just hit, right? You guys see what just happened? What'd we run into here? Your untapped 5-minute breaker that formed off of the high. So now we're just between 5-minute breaker bullish, 5-minute breaker bearish. But if we're right, we should just run right through it. But obviously, we get a nice little reject there. So we can watch this little candle here. We not want to see this candle get closed below, because that would be like a ugly 1-minute breaker to the downside. I really would expect price to hold this. All right, otherwise you're making a breaker to the downside. It's a breaker, order block, whatever. It's ugly as hell is what it is, but yeah, I mean, I probably would 8 trades. I will definitely take one off if ES somehow beats NQ to that previous hour high. I don't think it's going to. Hopefully not. But yeah, I would definitely. I mean, I still think PDH is the draw, so it's really up to you, but it's not a bad spot to pay yourself, because PDH is still up. It's up a little more. PDH is actually, it's not too far. 805. Did we sweep a 5-minute low? We did not. We did not. Just keep trailing it up until you make a breaker going against you, basically. Right? This is everything we talk about every single day. We are looking to get in the manipulation of the hourly candle and then ride the body of the hourly. The creation of the hourly body is what we're trying to do. Right? 11 o'clock opens, manipulates. We're looking for an entry anywhere below that open, right? They always say buy below midnight open, buy below your hourly opens, get inside of that wick. And then you're free. See, price though ran right into that breaker, and it just has slowly died. Right? Because even though like there'll be times when you have like higher time frame swing points like this, where you have breakers that like remain untapped, like you're either going to get a full on reversal out of this all the way back down if you're truly bearish, or you're going to have at least price slow down. Like later, like overnight, we did not come back to this hourly breaker here. So like when we come back to it, probably later in the week, actually we did come back to it. Disregard. I think it was the 15. Yeah, it was the 15 we never came back to. Once we come back to this, I would expect some kind of like, even if like this is a sell model, it's like say we take PDL, whatever, we make a breaker down, whatever. This is your sell model, right? I expect this to be a spot where I at least get some kind of 50% retracement on my lower time frame back down. So not a spot that you want to be chasing, right? But this be left side of your market maker buy model will create the right side of your market maker sell model, right? So my entry was the 1-minute breaker, basically. The 1-minute breaker. Yeah, so basically, oh my gosh, I'm all messed up here. All right, the 1-minute breaker right here. So this 1-minute breaker formed off of the hourly sweep and the 15-minute swing point. So the 1-minute breaker here confirmed to me that the hourly that 15-minute low was safe, essentially. And then we also made the 5 minute. When we made the 5 minute breaker, that tells me this hourly low is a likely safe, and when we should run some form of hourly liquidity, whether it be just back up to the breaker or 50% or something like that. But you should have some kind of bigger movement off of that. And then I move. So stops originally go to here because for a breaker, your stops got to be at that low. But then once we make once we make this 5 minute swing point up out of here now, and when we made the 30-second breaker up, I'm then not expecting this 5 minute low to be swept. So then my stops move to this 5 minute low because that would invalidate my trade at that point. Because that would mean that my 30-second breaker failed, and if a breaker is failing, then you're wrong. So, yeah, kind of. It's more or less like the last down close. So, like in this case, it's the last up close candle before the sweep, and then you close back above it. So, like in ICT terms, like this is kind of like an order block. It's not really an order block because you didn't close below it, but like basically just this is the last up close candle, basically. Before a sweep. I just like him a lot better because like obviously you can use like T trades. You can use like his fractal model with this like taking a CISD, but there's no clear like CISD here to me. So like there's usually always a breaker of some sort or some way to get in with like a 5 minute swing point like of some sort. So like sometimes like I won't like take like this trade and I'll wait for so I'll see like oh 5 minute breaker here and like stops are bigger, but usually I'm taking these 5 minute breakers in London. But like sometimes like a lot of times like especially with like a 5 minute, I didn't in this case, but like a 5 minute or a 15 minute breaker, it's usually the stops big like this. I will wait for a 5 minute swing point back out of that breaker, and that keeps my stop super small. So I'm looking to get in here, my stop's here. While I know I'm in a 15-minute breaker that should be going to some higher time frame liquidity, it keeps my stop nice and small. Problem with that is you don't always get a clear 5 minute swing like this, and you'll just rip straight up, you know. But so it won't always be that clean, but that's a better way of going about it. I do amp on. I do think PDH. We're just right now we're just struggling at this old breaker. The same thing here, Rambo. So this is just the breaker. Your last down close candles, your last down set of down close candles before you swept it and then closed back below it. It's just what I found to be a little bit better. So that's pretty much the fractal model, but it's more of a hybrid fractal model, I guess you'd call it, or an alternate. I've been waiting all day. Yeah, we're in a trade now. We're in longs. We still need 20 some points. After we take 10 o'clock high, I'll probably kill stream and see. I'll just let stuff go until a PDH. But I don't think there's any more data today, except Trump's supposed to speak here any moment. All right, we could get full on reversal out of here right now. We're getting a lot of weakness up here. We just not want to see really a breaker to the downside here, which what would invalidate my trade would be a close below here. This would be a 5-minute breaker down now, which would basically take me to where my stop is. My stop is sitting below this 5-minute low here. So if we got the 5-minute breaker, I'll probably just close it at that point as well. Yeah, definitely too far now. You do not want to be longing into this breaker here. This is where people will chase and be like, oh, we're going to the hourly high, we're going PDH, and then they don't see that they are longing into a 5-minute breaker here off of the hourly sweep, which we could, if we're going to chop on it, we could. I mean, we could just make a breaker here and then we chop between these two breakers the entire day. If you go back to choppy days, you'll see it's usually because we're just chopping between two higher time frame breakers. But yeah, no, I completely agree with that, Cobalt. I always wondered that too. Like, why? It's just a BPR, essentially. Yeah. But yeah, what made me move away? Because they just don't go along with structure. Like, and got burned a lot by them. Like, there are good ones, of course, but like, there are times where they just fail. And the breaker, because if I would rather trade alongside the hourly ranges and the sweeps, and then breakers, it just resonates with me better. And that's what you got to do in trading, is find what, what understand. Like, I can look at it, I can open a chart and get a bias within 30 seconds just by looking at my hourly and my 4 hour and my hourly. But yeah, you could probably use hourly sweeps with like a lower time frame inverse like that, and it's probably going to be good. That would lead to your context. There's sometimes where, like, obviously it didn't work here, but I don't know. I'm trying to see. See if I can find a good example here. But it is kind of like this though. Like, okay, if you like, I would not want to be longing into this, because this is going to, I would not want to be longing into this. Uh, Obviously, the context isn't really there. It's kind of a bad example, but like, say there's an inverse here. Say there's an inverse inside of here. I don't want to be longing back into here, because this is where price is going to fail to make the breaker and then push lower, right? So I want to waiting for the breaker confirms to me, and it just makes me feel a lot like I took a lot of losses on inverses. Maybe I just suck at trading in inverses. But like, having this. So basically, if I have the hourly sweep and the structure break, basically with the breaker on my side, if I take a loss, to me it's a lot easier mentally. I did everything I could. I did everything that I could to take away a winning trade. I had my higher time frame sweep here, and I had my actual like break, my breaker structure. But I mean, breaker's pretty much just an inverse order blocks, but it just makes more sense to me, I guess. Yeah, this is like, and that's like it breakers and that stuff also explains this. It explains why we're slowing down here. Like anybody, I don't know, no one's probably chasing. I hope no one's chasing like an inverse here. But like, before, like when I first started trading, futures at least, like before, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna get in here. We're obviously going here. I'm chasing this. But now I can look at it and be like, what is holding me up? Why am I slowing down? Well, I know my breakers at my lows and highs are usually going to send me to some kind of lower time frame, 50%. So now, like, I understand why price always wrecked me, and it adds just more. I don't know. It just adds more context to me. We're just slowed down because so we had the hourly sweep over here that formed what? Like, remember if we were bearish, we were looking for hourly sweep, 5-minute breaker, and we're looking to get short where? We're looking to get short inside of the wick of this hourly. Where'd that breaker form? Where's that bearish 5-minute breaker at? These are going to be your best entries when you get that higher time frame sweep and your breakers inside of that wick, like, especially around the open of these candles. Those are going to be your very, very sensitive levels. So if you're truly bearish, that's where price is going to reject, usually around the open there. So it explains why we're at least slowing down here. Doesn't mean full on reversal. Could it mean? Sure. When we would start chopping, but like, if I was bearish up here, and like, obviously we didn't, and so say this breaker forms. I just need to stop undeleting this. Say this breaker forms here, and say all this isn't here yet. Say this candle wicks up here, then we go inside that breaker, but I'm bearish. Then that's my short, right? I'm getting short inside of what will be that hourly wick. and I'm looking for continuation down. I wasn't bearish at the time, but you still see that it delivered. But like for me, if I take a 1 hour sweep with a 5 minute breaker and it fails, and I have context on my 4 hour to go that direction, I am it will it will never send me on tilt. It will never send me on tilt because I'm trading my plan. I'm trading everything that I've back tested and seen firsthand so many times, and I know my edge just did not play out there. And that's what's going to happen. We know that's what trading is, just trading stats and trading your edge, and just who loses the best. That's what it all comes down to. Yeah, bullish ones are better. Bearish ones deliver a lot faster. We'll see if you get it. We'll see if you get it. That's what happens though. Like even if there's not a breaker here, even at like 75% of these dealing ranges is where you'll see price just chop around because they do not let anybody chase price. You will not get to chase price. Chop around, make people give some money back into the markets, build some liquidity, and then rip it up or dump. Like that could happen too. Yeah, so we actually do have a 1 minute. We do have a 15-minute swing to the downside here. So we really want to see this high go. Because remember, if we're bearish, we're looking for price to reject inside of this wick to go lower. So we want to see that violated. It's not a means to close a trade, right? Because you can still have like swing points like this on going down, but like I'll wait for like a 5 minute to confirm that we're like a 5 minute like bearish breaker down or something to really confirm it. Because this is just to me this is just chop. Yeah, there's a 1 minute breaker here. You're sitting. So at this high sweep here, I'd be looking at this as the breaker. So for bearish, this should hold. But I would like to see it blown through, of course. If we can violate that and go right through it, then I know my draw is right at that point, right? Because we should not be blowing through a 1 minute breaker with a 50-minute swing point. If we are, then anybody that's short is wrong, and I'm right. Right now we're just working on an hourly inside candle, which would mean really nothing unless you're already in, of course. Like I would not be entering at 11 I would not be looking for a new trade at 12 o'clock based off of the hourly candle here. My draw would still be higher based off of here. Remember, inside candles mean nothing to me. I always pay attention to the last candle that swept a higher low and went away and know what that did. Yep, sure is. Yep, for sure. For sure. So we got a good test here. Like if you're really froggy here, your 15-minute low should be a target, right? Your 15-minute low here should be a target based off of this breaker. That's what I would expect this breaker to deliver here. Not shorty to it. I'm obviously already there, but I know in my head that I have a 1 minute breaker here off a 15-minute swing. So like even though I'm long, I gotta in the back of my head know that I am okay with price coming down here because that's what the price is telling me. If it doesn't go to it, then that's great. But if it does, then that just further it just mentally I am okay with price coming down here because that's what it's currently telling me that it wants to do too. I do. Right, because if this is like an hourly sweep here with a 5 minute swing with a 5 minute breaker down, what am I expecting that hourly low to go? So I'd be looking for the same thing here. It's just basically just time is fractal here. So I would be looking for price to this 15-minute low. I wouldn't be entering a short here but that's it's just like in the back of your mind, like you can understand when you can start to understand that it'll keep you from having that anxiety like mid trade of being like, oh man, like why is it coming down again here? Well, because the price is telling you that it is, and it just helps you like mentally get through that trade a little bit better because you can understand why. You can read the candles and what they're telling you. It doesn't invalidate your trade as a whole, right? Like like if we're making a 5 minute breaker down out of this 5 minute, then it's likely that maybe we need to look at exiting. But like it's just when you can understand that on every time frame, everything starts to like really align and come together. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Appreciate that, Rambo. Appreciate that. Take care. Oh, look at that. And there you go. So prices our level still sitting down here, but look, now price came down into what? Into that 15-minute BISI. What told us that? Potentially was this 1 minute breaker. I'm not emotional over it. I know price could have came back for that, and it did. Price did its job. That's great to see. I love that played out there because you guys can start to see this stuff even on the lower time frame. 15-minute sweep, 1 minute breaker. What's it do? Takes you to the previous 15-minute low. That's the same thing that we look for on the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour too. You're seeing it here on your lower time frames. Now everybody that chased up here is stopped out. Maybe now price can run higher. What would tell me that? A breaker back above. A breaker close back higher. Probably this one right here. Close back above there. You should be smooth sailing. Now if we get a 1 minute breaker higher, guess what? I can move my stops, right? Because then I'll have a 15-minute swing. I'll have a 5-minute swing back higher here, right? So if this 15-minute closes bullish here in 3 minutes, and we get a 1 minute breaker to the upside, guess what? We should not come back to this 15-minute low. If we do, it invalidates my trade at that point. But cool. Glad you guys got to see that play out in a live time there. So I'm just watching because it would be a 5 minute swing too. Yeah, it'd be see if we get the 5 minute swing and the 1 minute swing here. What's our 30-second look like? I think I would move stops as well. So if this sweeps this low again, and then we close back above here, if this would become a 30-second breaker, I would move my stops to that low at that point too. Actually, that's because then this would validate this as a 5 minute swing point, right? Because if you're getting the breaker, you're also going to get that 5 minute close bullish up there. But we're going to do sweeps because remember you got to sweep a low like a low to get to actually form a breaker. Otherwise, it's just a mitigation block. So there you go. There's the low. We'll see what happens there. $15-minute swings, powerful. Look at that. That's wild. All right, so stops are still sitting at this 15-minute low. So yeah, 15-minute swing point, one minute breaker down out of that 5 minute off of that hourly open right there. So far doing its job, probably giving us like a 50% of some sort. But cool. I love it. I love This is cool. Remember, that's why stops are below the open. I do not expect price to crash back through the open. If I do, then I probably don't want to be in the trade anymore, right? Price shouldn't be coming back through to close back through the hourly open. We should be in, if we're in true distribution, like price should just be continuing higher here. But 15 minutes, 679. Yeah, my stop's below here because I do not want to see price basically blast black through this 5 minute, 15-minute low because of the order block here, this 15-minute CISD here. I would not want to see price blow through there, which is also my 11 o'clock open. If it goes through there and starts, then I just don't want to be involved anymore. And I'm okay exiting in profit there. Going back to it, my first TP should have been the 5-minute breaker. Obviously hindsight, but I totally forgot about that breaker once we got long here. It definitely should have been like first TP instead of just the high. We just want to see price respect the open if we're going to continue bullish here. This would be a clean 30-second to the upside if we get it. Closes above here. I do not like this color. Might have salmon for a lunch, but I don't want salmon on my screen. There we go. So if we make a breaker here, this would tell me that it's likely going to be a 5-minute swing point here. And I will move my stops to this low. Doesn't mean I move stops up very, very much, but be some points saved. 5-1 video. It's currently made. I'm just debating whether I want to actually release it or not. It's yeah. Because a lot of people like to take these things and then they make a trading bot that trades it mechanically, and you can't trade it mechanically. And then what they do is they profit off of all of the people that are buying it, thinking they're going to make some huge profit off this bot. And then they make the profits from everybody buying it, and everybody that paid for it is now in drawdown and losing accounts because they're trading it mechanically. I don't know. Just it's just the scumminess of the trading space now these days. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. All right, so we're out there. We're stopped out there in a profit. So a long trade there. Still a pretty green trade, but nice. So you got to see it. You got to see a bunch of things today. It's freaking awesome. There's 50 of the whole move down. Yeah. So what we got to see today, you got to see the entry models from the lows, but then you got to always keep marked your previous breakers, because that's where people start chasing up here, and price runs into this previous breaker, and there you go, takes you back down, and now you're just stuck between two 5-minute breakers. I would just wait for a new hourly candle to tell you what these are the two breakers you're now stuck between. But remember, everybody's leaving already. Jeez. Remember, whenever you're I see out the corner of my eyes all the icons disappearing. But yeah, because keep in mind, like when your old breakers that have not been tapped into are going to give you some kind of reaction, whether it's just a 50% on like a lower time frame, like this is so far, or it's a full on reversal. Both can absolutely happen. But now we're just stuck. We did manage to take a green trade. You guys got to see the 15-minute swing point down. This was awesome with the 1 minute breaker down, but cool. All right, guys, great day. Giveaway complete. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, let's keep growing this jungle, and appreciate everybody hanging out, guys. So we'll be back tomorrow for another AM stream. And yeah, with that, take care, trade safe, don't be silly, and we'll see you next time. Peace.